This is our last day in Tasmania and we'll be visiting the Bonorong Wildlife Sanctuary and the Hobart Zoo and Aquarium. We are currently at the Bonorong Wildlife Sanctuary watching a Tasmanian devil autopsy.
Believe it or not, here at Bonorong, the work we do provide, it's not actually government funded. 90% of that funding does come from you wonderful people walking through our front over there. You are in direct support of the work we do. What that means for you guys is you get to leave with a nice fuzzy warm feeling in your chest today, which I think is quite lovely. For anyone here who's not really all that aware of what we actually do here at Bonorong, we do operate the largest wildlife rescue service in the state of Tasmania. When I say we are the largest, we are also the only. For that reason, we are also the best. Basically, we do run that rescue service 24/7. We do have people here on site, just in the buildings there behind us, answering phone calls 24 hours a day, 7 days a week as part of that rescue service. What that means for you guys, if you're ever out in the Tasmanian area, come across sick, injured or orphan wildlife, you are welcome to give us a call. We can talk you through your specific situation. We do have about 700 volunteer rescue teams put around the state as well. If we need to, we can get one of them sent out to give you a hand with that as well. So again, by coming in today, you are in direct support of all of that work, and we really do appreciate it. We could not do it without. Please leave today. Yes. Beautiful. In my arms like a baby. A really good reason we are able to do that for this species. Basically for your wombats, really cute and cuddly until about age 2. Once these guys hit the age of 2, they turn extremely aggressive. And that often comes as a bit of a shock to a lot of people. They are very cute and cuddly looking, and I assure you they definitely are, until the age of 2. What that aggression allows for us, it's kind of like a factory reset for this animal. It doesn't really matter how much care we've had to provide them growing up until that point. Once they hit 2, they will turn on us every single time. What that allows us to do is get these guys back out into the wild where they belong. We can trust they're not going to have any interest approaching people, which is what we really want for our animals that we release. It's why a lot of our species we do keep behind the scenes when we're rehabilitating them, for the reason we don't want them getting used to people. Beautiful. Now, with that aggression, what that is for these guys, it's basically them getting their nasty teenage years, effectively going through puberty. So, what happens with them is all that aggression in the wild, that goes straight towards their mum. It's basically these guys trying to kick mum out of the burrow, and they're trying to claim that burrow for themselves. They're not really looking to work quite as hard, these guys, but there is a big issue for them. At that age, they are a lot smaller than mum. Mum's going to get sick of that treatment pretty quickly. She's going to spin round and say, get out of my basement, kick these guys out and make them go dig their own. Now, here at Bonorong, keepers such as myself, we are considered mum. So what that means is when these guys hit 2, all of that comes straight towards us. And that's going to take the form of a fair bit of biting, a fair bit of scratching as well. And these guys can also charge These guys can actually run at about 25 kilometres an hour, and they get close to 30 kilos down here at Tasmania, depending on where you find them. Close to 40 up on the mainland. So you can basically picture a sack full of bowling balls going through your shins at 25 k's an hour. Tends to do a little bit of damage to keepers such as myself. For that reason, we like to tell people this lovely little animal curled up in a ball in my arms is the most dangerous animal in this sanctuary. Just not quite yet. She's still a big sweetheart, aren't you, darling? Yeah. She's only about 1.5 years. So not super long until she turns a bit grumpy. But she's not quite. Now, I will mention where she has come from as well. I did forget to mention that to start with. Bessie here. She has come in for the same sort of reasons we do tend to get a lot of our young wombats. She is, unfortunately, what we would classify as a roadkill. What I mean by that is she's been inside her mother's pouch attached to a teat, and her mum's been struck by a car. Basically, her mum, really big and bulky, she's acted like a bit of a shield for Bessie on the inside. Someone's been kind enough to come check inside that pouch. They found her in there, and they've given us a call. Basically, that's left her without a parent. Means that she hasn't had anyone to take care of her, and she hasn't really had anyone to show her how to be a wombat. And that's where we sort of fill that gap. You can kind of think of us here at Bonorong like a little bit of a school for baby wombats, essentially, for this species in particular. Isn't that right, sweetie? Beautiful. Now, yeah, absolutely. These guys in Tassie, about 80 centimetres in length. Up on the mainland, about 1 metre in length as well. They get pretty solid. They're kind of like bulldozers. Now, a second ago, I did mention burrows for these guys. Really, really important for a wombat. They are one of the largest burrowing mammals in the world. Those burrows, they'll extend to about 2 metres in depth, about 20 to 30 metres in length as well. A lot of people don't realise quite how large those burrows are. And keep in mind, these guys have to fit inside that burrow for that full extent. It's a really considerable amount of dirt they have to move to dig that. It does take them a lot of time and energy. And there are a couple of really important reasons why they choose to do that. First of which, it is to do with temperature. Wombats, they can't sweat like people can, and they can't pant like dogs do either. And that means for these guys, they actually start going into heat stress at about 25 degrees Celsius. Much the same way most Tasmanians do. Basically, down inside that burrow, you can think of it like air conditioning in your house. It's nice and sheltered from the outside weather. It's going to keep these guys nice and cool through the summer period, while also keeping them nice and warm through the winter period as well. Now, that second reason, it is to do with predator defence. Now, I will try to demonstrate this for you in a second. She may just want to head back to bed, and if she does, I'm not going to stop her. But for predator defence, these guys have an area on their back called a fascia plate. You'll see it when I pop her down in a moment. Really big, flat, platey area. It's not made of bone or cartilage like a lot of people think it is. It's its own specialised connective tissue called fascia, laid upon itself over and over and over again. There is not a whole lot of blood supply or nerve endings in that area. And what that means for these guys is they can be attacked there by a predator, and it's not really going to affect them whatsoever. So for these guys, what they start to do, if they feel threatened, they run for their burrow as fast as their little legs can carry them. They take that plate, shove it up into the entrance, and they effectively use their bum as their front door. And for wombats, that usually works really, really well. Most predators down here in Australia aren't super keen to dig through concrete for a meal, so they go looking for something easier to tackle. Occasionally, however, you will find a predator who is desperate enough and hungry enough, they will keep trying to get inside. These guys will slowly flap to the floor of their burrow, open up that top section, and they actually let that predator inside their burrow. Now, I'm sure a few of you can already tell where this one's going to go. This beautiful fluffy creature here in my arms is one of the very few in the world that is capable of killing another animal just with their bum. That predator puts its head in that gap, bang, they make a predator sandwich with the roof of their burrow. But they will do that over and over and over again. Either till that predator turns and runs away, or that predator stops moving. So to give you a bit of an idea, up on mainland, slips like boxes, their skulls fit down completely one side of the coast. Roll them up in their back legs. Very unlikely to crush my skull for use. Good. I'm going to sit her down here for a sec and I'll point out her plate for us. This lovely big area extending from her back here. Just along the bottom. They're not the biggest fans of the fish. That's why I'm not super surprised she's such a fish. Guys, this is Christopher the Tasmanian Devil. So to give you a bit of an idea, these guys are more than capable of going through any part of a kangaroo. When I say any part, I do mean any part. These guys, they will eat the meat, they will also eat the fur, and they will eat the bones as well. What that means for you guys is if you're here of an evening when these guys get dinner, you are going to hear some lovely crunchy noises. It's not so much for the squeamish, that one. Now, with that jaw strength, that's kind of important for these guys for dealing with what they eat. For Tasmanian devils, what they eat is just about anything made of meat. They are really not fussy. They will essentially eat anything from a moth all the way up to a beached whale carcass and everything in between. Again, if it's made of meat, they're going to have a go at it. That being said, these guys, they're not really built for hunting. They are much more geared towards scavenging, meaning they like to find prey that has already passed away. It's not to say a devil can't hunt. They are very opportunistic. If they get an easy shot at something, they will definitely take it. They're just not great at it. Couple main reasons why. For Tasmanian devils, they're actually quite slow compared to a lot of other animals. These guys can only really run at about a max speed of 13 kilometres an hour. To give you an idea there, your average chicken runs at 14 kilometres an hour. These guys do effectively lose a race to a chicken. They're not great at running after things. Also for these guys, their eyesight, it's actually quite poor as well. They can only really see a metre in front of their face in black and white. Means, again, not great at spotting things and chasing after them. Now, what they do lack in that hunting capability, again, they really make up for in their scavenging capability. I just mentioned their eyesight is very poor. They really make up for that with their sense of smell. The Tasmanian devils, they are capable of smelling meat from 2 to 3 kilometres away if the wind is in their favour. Basically, it means they are very good at finding things that are already starting to rot and then using that jaw strength to deal with whatever that might be. Beautiful. Now, with these guys being scavengers in the wild, what that means for them is they're not always too certain when they're going to find food next. So for this species in particular, leads to a behaviour called gorge feeding. If a devil finds food, they are going to consume as much of that food as possible, as quickly as possible, because they're not super sure when their next chance is going to be. So for these guys, what that means is they are capable of consuming 40% of their body weight in 30 minutes flat, if uninterrupted. And that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? When I first read that statistic, I couldn't picture it very easily. I sort of thought, what is 40% of a devil? I work with them and I don't have a super clear picture. Chances are most of you guys aren't going to have a clear picture either. So I've gone away and done a little bit of maths for us, and I've figured out a bit of a human equivalent to show you how impressive that is. I've gone and worked out what a human of my body weight would have to consume in order to equal that of a devil in the same amount of time. So if I ate 40% of myself in half an hour, that's going to look like me eating either 20 whole roast chickens, or 150 bananas, or 125 McDonald's Big Macs. All within half an hour. And I don't know about you guys, but I find that very impressive. It's absolutely ridiculous how much these guys can pack away when they need to. If they do manage to eat that amount, they are going to end up barrel-shaped. They're really not going to need to feed for another 3 or 4 nights. They'll hide away in a den and they'll sleep that one off. Beautiful. Now, we've sort of started this morning having a decent chat about how hard devils bite, how much meat they eat, and I gave you that safety warning right before we even got here as well. And that might lead most of you to think this is quite a dangerous, scary, dangerous animal. They're very, very misunderstood. They actually are quite a sweet animal once you get to know them. I don't recommend you try to pat them. It's a good way to lose all your fingers. They're kind of like a puppy dog. You just have to keep in mind they bite much, much harder than a puppy dog. In the wild, these guys are no danger to people whatsoever. 9 times out of 10, these guys will run away from you before you even knew they were there to begin with. On the 10th time, they will run away from you after you know they are there. They are really not a danger to people in the wild. In captivity, a little bit different, hence the safety warning. Again, these guys, they do often come in with injuries and they do often come in quite young. And that means that they do spend a lot of their time raised around people. That makes them really, really bold. They basically see us as other devils and they are quite happy to have a good crack at a keeper like myself. Hence why you guys are on that side of the fence. But again, very misunderstood animal. A lot of that misunderstanding, that does stem from their name. Tasmanian devil. The devil part there not really having the best connotations. Where that name comes from is early white settlers when they first arrived in Tasmania, and there are 3 main reasons for that name. The first of which, has anyone here this morning ever been lucky enough to hear the sound these guys make when they're talking to each other? Is anyone familiar with that sound at all? No. I'm seeing a fair few shakes of the head, which works quite well for me. I'm going to find us a little video clip of that one here this morning. To give you a bit of an idea, when these guys communicate, it does sound like horrific, blood-curdling screaming. It's not a very pretty language. If you have a quick listen for me, when we get this one going, bear with me 1 second. Beautiful. Fantastic. That's how these guys say good morning. Again, really not a pretty language. They will make about 11 different unique variations of that noise, each meaning slightly different things. Most of those 11 do sound like screaming. Definitely part of their name. A couple other parts. Christopher's posing really nicely for us at the moment. If we look at his ears, you're going to notice they are very, very thin and they curl to a little tip at the point as well. Those ears, they will actually use them to help regulate their temperature as well as listening to things. Basically really, really thin and really, really full of blood vessels. When a devil gets too hot or too excited around food, blood rushes up into those vessels in the ears. Because they're so thin, the air temperature can cool that blood down through the ear membrane. They then pump that back through their body and that will help them to cool off. What that means for devils is when they are starting to do that behaviour, having very thin ears, very full of blood, they start to turn bright red. The little pointed tips on the end, they start to resemble little pointed red devil horns. Also very much part of their name. Third part stems from their eyes. For Tassie devils, they have something called red eye shine. It's the same sort of thing you'll find in domestic dogs. Basically what it is if light gets shone towards a devil's eyes, the only part of that light that we can see with our human eyes reflecting back towards us is the red wavelength, effectively making their eyes reflect red light back towards us, making it look like they've turned red. Again, it is just a reflection and a bit of trick of the eye, but to us, they look red. So, you wrap those three things together and picture early white settlers first arriving in Tasmania. Sort of pulling up on the shore, setting up their campsite for the evening, maybe tending to their fire, and all of a sudden they hear a bunch of horrific screaming. I think, holy crap, we've never heard anything like that. We have no idea what made that noise. We've got to try and figure it out. So they grab their lanterns, they walk towards that noise and they hold those lanterns up. These guys being really dark in coloration, all they can make out of that animal is a set of red eyes reflecting back towards them and little red pointed devil horns, hence the name Tasmanian devil. Again, they really don't deserve the reputation that comes with that one, but when early white settlers first arrived, they did assume that Tasmania was haunted by demons as a direct result of these guys. And again, as you can see with Christopher, they are quite sweet. Beauty. Any questions about our devils at all before we move on this morning? I bite much less hard than he does, I promise. Any questions at all? Go for it. Sorry, what was that one?
Yeah, predator.
Predators, not so much for these guys. They are top of the food chain down here in Tasmania. Absolutely. These guys are the largest carnivorous marsupial left in the world. Beauty.
Do they normally live on their own?
They absolutely do. These guys are much more of a solitary animal. The only times they'll really come together is when they're all attracted to a very large carcass, that or during breeding season. Again, breeding season for these guys, not super pretty. A lot of biting involved. We do house them separately as a result of that. Also because these guys do tend to come in with injuries. With Christopher here, for example, you'll notice his back right leg is fairly wonky. You'll see it especially when he's up and moving. He has actually broken that in the past. It means if we house these guys together, they do actually pose a significant risk to each other.
Do they?
Just once a year, or once or twice. They've got a couple chances in the same sort of period. It's usually through the winter sort of time that these guys will mate, yeah.
And how many babies?
Yeah, good question. So, Tassie devils, they have a pouch like a kangaroo. There's 4 teats inside that pouch. How many do you reckon they give birth to?
40.
They give birth to 20 to 40 joeys. You're pretty much bang on there. It is only 4. If 4 make it to those teats, that will survive. And the rest, they do get recycled, if you catch my drift. It is survival of the fittest right from the get-go for this species. The reason that they do that, they're basically, the thoughts behind it are that the ones that make it to those teats, they are going to be more fit than the ones that didn't, and more likely to survive, worth putting the resources into for these guys. Dirty. Any others? Go for it.
Them anymore?
They certainly are, absolutely.
No?
Yeah, they will occasionally come out during the day, but most of the activity for these guys does happen of an evening time. Absolutely.
Can you talk a little bit about the disease?
Yeah, absolutely I can. So for anyone who missed that one, Tasmanian devils, they are affected by something called devil facial tumour disease. It is the reason why they are so endangered. It is a massive issue for them. What devil facial tumour disease is, it's 2 of 9 ever discovered strains of transmissible cancer. When I say transmissible cancer, I mean a cancer that is contagious from devil to devil. It can spread between them. That will usually be through contact. Now with that cancer, forms tumours around the throat and mouth area, and it is 100% mortality rate if they do contract that, usually within 3 to 4 months of them starting to show symptoms. It is really aggressive. Since it was discovered in 1996, it is estimated it's affected about 80% of the population. Massive issue for them. to take us out of that doom and gloom a little bit, it is starting to look a lot more positive for these guys. There is a lot of work being done to help them out. These guys in the wild, the population, it's no longer in decline. It has plateaued. We're still just trying to boost those numbers back up. To give you a bit of an idea, latest estimates for this species sitting around 30,000 in the wild. We'd like to see that a lot closer to 80 to 90,000. So still a lot of work to be done there. And when I say work to be done, I mean things like breeding programs. A lot of sanctuaries around Tasmania do breed this species. Also things like vaccines. So Menzies Institute and the University of Tasmania, they're currently working on an oral vaccination for that cancer that does currently work in a test tube, which is really, really exciting. Still has yet to be tested on animals. With that one, it's an oral vaccine, as I mentioned, gets injected into baits. These guys ingest those baits and that will cure the cancer on the spot. It's not currently a complete immunisation. They can recatch that at a later date, but it does cure it at the time of administration. So really, really good start. Still a lot of work to be done though as well. Does that give you a bit of an idea there? Yeah, beautiful. Any others for me before we move on?
How long does it live for?
Yeah, these guys, unfortunately not very long.
Oh.
In the wild, 5 years. In captivity, 6 or 7. To give you an idea there, Christopher's about 6 years old. So he's a really, really old devil.
Okay.
Absolutely. He's like an 80-year-old human, is Christopher. He's a sweet boy, aren't you, mate? Dirty. Any last one before we move on? Easy done, guys. In that case, we're going to sneak up this way and we're just going to hook up to the left. I'm going to take you up and we'll chat to a couple of echidnas to finish up with this morning. Yeah, like that. Up his way, Gemma. Beautiful. So to get you all introduced, the one at the front there on his way up with a bit of a blonder face, we've got Tamagotchi. And the one behind him there, we've got Luigi. Really easy way I can tell these guys apart. Does anyone want to count their legs for me?
4.
Beautiful. 4 for Tamagotchi. Luigi at the back there, he's got 3. He is quite a happy little tripod. He is missing that back right hand leg. And it is the reason why he's here at Bonorong. Unfortunately, in his case, he snuck into someone's back garden at a younger age, looking for a bit of food and water, and he unfortunately came across their pet dog instead. That's why he's here with us. Tamagotchi, his injuries are a little bit less obvious, but he's got a bit of damage to his beak, and he's actually totally blind as well. He has been struck by a car in the past. That blindness, not the biggest issue for an echidna. These guys, they've got pretty poor eyesight anyway. They are much more reliant on their sense of hearing and their sense of smell as well. Now, when I say sense of hearing, if we have a little look at the sides of the head there, you're going to see these little depths. That's where their ears are located. If you get the right angle, you can see into it. It's kind of like a little coin slot on each side with a bit of flap and spine around that one to help funnel the sounds in. Beautiful. Now, with these guys as well, they do have a bit of an extra secret sense that we as humans do not possess. Inside that beak of theirs, they've actually got 2,000 electroreceptors. They can use those to sense the electrical signals given off by insects moving under the ground. And that's how these guys typically find food. I like to think of it like having a metal detector strapped to your face that points you towards dinner, which I think is quite neat. Beautiful. Now, with these guys, I mentioned finding insects for dinner. They do exclusively eat insects. They are an insectivore. Studies have shown down here in Tassie, they'll consume about 73 different species of insect. A lot of those are going to be things like species of ants. What I've put there in front of them, you're probably looking at and thinking doesn't look a whole lot like ants. What I've given them there, something I like to refer to as bug porridge. Basically what it is, a whole bunch of blended up insects, mixed up with some protein powder, a little bit of oil and some water. For these guys, that is absolutely delicious. It's a beautiful family recipe. For anyone who's interested, I can get that one sent out to you at the end as well. Now, while they are feeding, we're going to have a pretty good view there of those lovely tongues shooting in and out. A lovely long pink tongue can stretch out to about 15 centimetres outside the beak for an average echidna. Tamagotchi there, his tongue is abnormally long. He's got 18 centimetres to work with. That tongue can dart in and out of that beak at 100 times per minute. Really, really sticky, also really, really flexible. Can basically bend backwards on itself. With these guys, while they are sitting so nicely for us, these spines, not quite as sharp as you might expect, given you go with the grain. If I come against the grain with a bit of force, it's obviously not going to feel super nice for me, but it's more of a dull point, quite similar to a metal nail that you'd hammer into something. Those spines, they're made of something really similar to our fingernails. It's a modified hair that they will grow. If they do ever break off or shed them, they can regrow them as well. When I say break off or shed, I don't mean inject them into things, like for example a porcupine would. However, these guys do have complete control over each individual spine. What that means for them is they can pretty much point spines towards whichever direction they're feeling threatened from. They're pretty well able to cover themselves from every angle. Now, while they are having a lovely little eat here for us this morning, does anyone want to have a bit of a guess for me what the closest relative to the echidna might be? We got any guesses this morning?
Hedgehog.
Beautiful. I've given you a bit of a trick question here and you've fallen really nicely into my trap, which I do appreciate. Hedgehogs, echidnas and porcupines. Sound like they'd be really similar? More closely related to whales than they are to echidnas, for one really important reason. Echidnas are something called a monotreme. There's only 5 remaining species of those, 4 of which are kinds of echidna, and the 5th, which is the closest relative, is the platypus. What a monotreme is, for anyone who's not aware, it is a mammal that lays eggs. Really, really odd. Again, only 5 remaining species still do that. With the eggs for this species, about the size of a grape. Sort of leathery in consistency as well, really, really similar to a reptile egg, if anyone hears it all. When those eggs hatch, is anyone here familiar with what a baby echidna is called? It's a really magnificent word starting with P. Has anyone heard that one? Beautiful. These guys are puggles when they're born. Puggle, which I think is absolutely fantastic. It's such a great word. Puggle. Now, when those puggles first hatch from that egg, they are effectively the size of a grain of rice. They are teeny, teeny, tiny. To give you a bit of an idea, I do have a 5-cent coin here. Australian 5-cent coin, features a picture of the echidna on it. To give you an idea, it would take 8 puggles to cover the surface of one of these coins when they are first born. They are teeny, teeny, tiny. Now with those puggles, they can't suckle from teats like most mammals do. With that beak structure they have, they can't form any sense of suction. So they've got to go around that a bit differently. Mum will have a couple patches on her underside called a mammary patch. She will basically sweat milk straight through her skin, and the puggle will lick that up with that lovely sticky tongue. Now, my absolute favourite fact about these guys is that milk, it is bright pink. As far as I'm aware, not strawberry flavoured. Maybe one of you lovely guys would like to head out and double check that one for me and report back. Basically just really high in iron due to their diet, gives it that lovely pink coloration, which I think is very, very cool. Beautiful. Has anyone got any questions about our echidnas before we wrap up this morning? I probably do bite harder than these guys, but I promise I won't. Any questions at all? Go for it. Yeah, absolutely. So these guys, they do something called a nursery burrow. Basically, little hole in the ground, they take the puggle, put it in that hole, they seal it and they leave. And then they come back once every 1 to 9 days. Basically come back, dig it up, feed the puggle, seal it again and leave. And they repeat that process on and on for several months until that puggle is old enough that it digs itself out on its own. It wanders off, mum's going to come back one day, the burrow's going to be open, there's no puggle inside, and that's her cue to stop coming back. Beautiful.
Okay, which country?
Pardon?
Which hunter?
What hunts these guys? Yeah, sure thing. Things like Tassie Devils, if they find one of these guys as an easy spot, they'll definitely have a go. So for example, if these guys are on a slope, they can be quite easy to tip over, and there's not a whole lot of protection on their underside. Also, things like wedge-tail eagles can actually pick these guys up, carry them off. Unfortunately as well, things like people's pets, cats and dogs can be a big issue for them as well. Any others for me?
Age expectancy.
Pardon?
Age expectancy.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. I love when I get this question. In the wild, about 25 years. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Captivity, 50 to 60 years.
Wow.
Before you ask, I have no clue how old these two. It is very hard to tell. The only way you can tell how old an echidna is if you're there when they hatch. Once they reach adulthood, they don't really change a lot in appearance. Because these two are rescues and have come in as adults, they could be anywhere from about 7 up to 60, and we've got no idea. Yeah. Beauty. Any last ones before we wrap up? Easy done, guys. In that case, that's going to about wrap us up there this morning. Again, thank you so much for coming along, guys. Again, you are in direct support of all the animals you will see today and all of the stuff that happens behind the scenes. Please leave today with a fuzzy warm feeling in your chest. We really do appreciate you guys. For anyone who's not found kangaroos yet, the closest way to get down to them, just over here past this little wooden building, there's a gate that goes down to that bottom section. Feel free to explore the rest of the sanctuary. We are effectively a big circle. You can't really get lost. Have a lovely morning, everyone.
Thank you.
Very, very welcome.
Scratch Ronnie's face.
Should I get the food off?
Ronnie's enjoying the forehead massage.
I can feed Ronnie, he's still hungry. Yeah.
Ronnie!
Ronnie?
Oh, Ronnie. Big Ron. Big Ron is on the roll.
Wow.
Big Ron is hungry.
Yeah. Ronnie is so well. Is that also this stage? I think so. Can go to the...
Ronnie! Ronnie! Ronnie's not giving me any attention. It's Ronnie, bro. Obviously, it's Ronnie. Ronnie!
Stop it.
Can't smell anything.
Yeah.
Saliva, no smell.
Smell.
Smell the saliva.
I know.
This is ruffle for horse food.
Yeah. Ronnie! Oh, Ronnie's moving up. Ronnie's stepping on Jim's shit.
What's that? Yes, Ronnie's friends.
Lie back down, Ronnie.
No, lie right down. This is...
Ronnie! Ronnie! Goodbye, Ronnie. Goodbye. Goodbye.
And we are finally at the last stop of the trip, the Hobart Zoo. We only retrospectively figured it was kinda a private collection, which would have helped us manage our expectations had we known that fact earlier.
A spider insect? Nah, it's an arachnid. Wahoo! That is a seal's favorite food. I don't think you can get carrots in the sea, right? So, maybe fish. Haha! Grizzly bears do what? Sleep all winter. I think make honey is like a Disney thing. Okay, great. Where the meerkats? Meerkat under the ground in trees. Oh, I don't know, I'm just gonna guess. Trees. Oh, how do I go back one space?
Continue.
Come back. Woohoo! You train the monkey move button. Wombat. Digging. Oh, great. Which parent raises emo? I guess an interesting question, so I need to guess something unconventional. Oh, great. Marsupial. Pouch. Yes. Lizards are. I don't know. Amphibians, cold-blooded. Okay, great. She's.
Lizards are not amphibians.
What are they?
Reptiles.
Oh, reptiles. Giant pandas. The ones in Singapore eat bamboo, right? Okay, great. Oh dear, the penguin pooped on a kiwi is a type of bird. Great. Nocturnal animals are awake. Nocturnal means they wake up at night, right? So, great. T-Rex. Okay, I think trees. Oh,
Huh? T-Rex eat trees?
They eat meat. I thought movies kind of make them look scary, but in reality, maybe they are nicer. So I guess trees. Lowland gorillas are from Lowland versus Highland. Africa maybe. Wow. Wait, I want to guess. I want to see this. Oh, gorilla. Okay. I saw this one and the answer is 100 years. Okay, but let me just see this. The chipmunks have foot pouches in their cheeks. Alvin and the chipmunks kind of show that they do, so I guess yes. Yes! Then a warthog. I cheated, I saw you answer Pumbaa for this. Right? Okay, what is koala? I think it eats. No! Koala spend most of the time sleeping. Why would be a koala bear? Or Tasmanian snake.
What is it? Koala bear? Oh yeah.
Sorry, yeah, koala, right? Koala bear.
Koala bear.
Yeah, I can guess harmless, but oh shucks, go all the way to the start to get emergency. Oh oops. So I guess venomous is the right answer. Alright. Blue whale for sure. Cheetah. Oh yeah! I reached the finish line with lots of bites, scratches. Probably had to 死里复活. Hopefully.
So can you be a zookeeper?
But I can be a zookeeper assistant. I probably can help you chop fruit, pick up food, lock the gate.
The vlogging kinda ends here outside the Hobart Zoo and Aquarium cause I got really sick. That explains the choppiness in the last few footages. But I promise the next family vlog is gonna be better, so stay tuned!